mistake that most women over 50 make when it comes to protein. Hi, Sophie here. All right, let's just get into it. The big protein question. There seems to be a big buzz around protein on the internet, and I want to, number one, get into the biggest mistake I see most women making when it comes to protein. 2, how much protein do we need? 3, the best sources of protein. And 4, I am going to show you one of my favorite protein recipes, a pre or post-workout snack that packs in really healthy protein. All right, so ready? Let's get into it. The biggest mistake I see women making, and I say women, it can be men as well, but since most of my subscribers, and by the way, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel and click notifications so you get notified when a new video drops. I try to do a video every single week. But the biggest mistake that women make is in menopause or perimenopause, when they're sort of 45, starting to gain a little bit of weight, starting to worry about belly fat, health really not necessarily going in the right direction. And then when we go into menopause at the age of 50, estrogen plummets, and then we do start to tend to gain a little bit more weight. We store more around our midsection, and that is why the mistake I see so many women making is they start freaking out and they start going, what is happening to my body? I'm gaining belly fat, I am losing muscle mass, this precious muscle mass, and so what I need to do is eat a ton more protein. Okay, so that is the biggest mistake that I think women make. So then what I hear when women coming to me and they go, Sophie, I've heard that I have to eat 100 grams of protein a day in order to lose weight. That is not true. Or Sophie, I need to eat 100 or 120 grams of protein a day to gain muscle. Not true. And here is why, and it's very, very simple. It's an overlooked truth, is that you're not going to gain muscle mass, you're not going to lose weight, or gain muscle mass just by eating more protein. It's just not going to happen. The way that you're going to build lean muscle mass is to exercise. Okay? You can eat 200 grams of protein a day, and if you eat over a certain amount, that's when it could actually be very deleterious to your health, and you're actually going to gain weight. It's going to be stored as fat. And there's another mistake women make and don't realize. But in order to preserve this beautiful lean muscle mass, or even more so to build lean muscle mass, which is incredibly important. Sarcopenia is now a diagnosed disease. And sarcopenia means this muscle loss that really exacerbates over the age of 50. And we have to work really, really hard to maintain, let alone build muscle. And so that's very important. But the way that we do that is not through stuffing ourselves with lots of protein. The way that we do it is through strength and resistance training, and a lot of strength and resistance training. And if any of you think, well, I'm going to bulk up, or you will not bulk. If you're over the age of 50, good luck bulking up, seriously. My clients and I, we're just like, okay, this is what we've got to get to every single week. This is the way that we need to train every single week to build. Most of my clients really want to build a really lean, toned, beautiful body. All right. So that is the most important thing, and the most important mistake that I see so many. Don't make that mistake thinking I've just got to eat tons more protein, and then my muscles, I'm going to be able to grow these lovely lean muscles. It's not going to happen. You've got to exercise, and you need to exert enough strength or resistance or weight or load on your muscles to force your body to adapt. And this hypertrophy, which actually is going to grow this beautiful lean muscle. But protein is important. So you obviously need protein for repair and for building the muscles. And so you need to do both, basically. And doing both is very, very important. So that is point number one. You are going to have to strength train. You're probably going to have to do more strength training than you could even imagine, to be perfectly honest with you, particularly if you're over 50. And again, it depends on the outcome you want, but no woman gets to the age, well, no man or woman gets to the age of 90 and goes, I wish I had less muscle on my body, right? We all need to grow more muscle, and it's not just for cosmetic purposes, for feeling and looking beautiful in sleeveless tops and shirts and bikini body and all of that, but truly it is for our health, because this lean muscle mass is metabolically healthy, and we need it to actually to increase your metabolism, and also for preventing falls and injuries and everything else. And sarcopenia, muscle loss, is a big predictor of a shortened lifespan, or certainly a lower quality of life. So we've got that one. Number one, okay, we need to do our resistance training, we need to do our strength training, and we need to eat protein as well for our muscles and many other bodily processes too. Hey, I want to take a quick pause in this video for a special announcement. Actually, it is an invitation. So I am inviting you to come and join my very special Inner Circle community. This is an incredible community that I have created for women over the age of 45 who are committed to living their best, healthiest lives now and forever, from the inside out, mind, body, spirit. There is so much value in this group. You can join me for live Q&As, live exclusive trainings, masterclasses that you will only find in this group, special giveaways, interviews, and much more. And right now, this group is free. So I recommend joining right away. The link to join is in the description below this video. Number two, how much protein do we need? Okay, so there are many different recommendations. We can go to the World Health Organization, we can go to the American Dietetic Association, there are different recommendations, and this is where, excuse me, it can get a little bit confusing. So I want to try and make this really simple for you. So I take a holistic approach. I'm a board certified holistic nutritionist. So I take a holistic approach, and your protein requirement should be based on a holistic model. And what I mean by that is it needs to be based on a number of different factors. One is your ideal ideal healthy weight. So you need to know what your ideal healthy weight is, because some people say it's based on body, body shape, height, whatever. But the most important thing is knowing what your ideal, not your crazy ideal, I want to be 100 pounds weight, but what you estimate is to be your healthy weight, maybe the weight that you were when you were a fully grown, healthy adult. So you need to know that, because you'll base your calculations on that. You also need to think about your age. So age is important. Up to the age of 50, we may, and again, I'll get to the next thing in a minute, you may not need so much. I think over the age of 50 in menopause, particularly if you're working out, you are going to need more between 50 and 60. And over the age of 60, you're really going to need to dial it up, okay? So you can do a simple calculation. It's really easy. So what you do is you find out what your healthy ideal weight is in kilograms. You can just do a little online calculator, or you can, it's really easy to find out what your ideal healthy weight is, not in pounds, but in kilograms. And then you're going to multiply that by, for most women, I recommend that you multiply that for most of you by 1.2. And then you're going to have your calculation. This is for most women over the age of 50 by 1.2. Now, to get a little bit more granular, the way that I work with my clients is I really individualize everything. So at the very least, we want to look at what is the adequate, like don't go below this amount. And that's going to be, you would multiply it by 0.9, okay? And for women over 50, do not go below that. And for a lot of you, that'll fall in the ballpark of about 50, 48 to 58 grams of protein a day. I don't think anybody wants to go below that. And then for others, it's going to be, the other thing is, so that's adequate. But then what we really want to look at is optimal. So what is the optimal amount for you? And that's what you really have to determine. Either with, if you're working with a nutritionist or a dietitian, and that's what I do with my clients, is that we really dig in and go, well, let's really figure out what the optimal amount is for you. And again, obviously, it's based on your weight, your ideal healthy weight. It's based on your age. And it's also based on your activity level. And this is very important too. And this is where there absolutely is not a one-size-fits-all. Another mistake that some people make, because one woman may, through her life circumstances, maybe she's had injuries, maybe you've had injuries, maybe you're not really working out and really pumping iron and doing all that strength training, and maybe you're just getting in, your 6,000-7,000 steps a day, and that's about it for now. And then somebody else might be doing strength and resistance training and really heavy lifting, 3 to 4 times a week, as well as doing a lot of other exercise. Those are 2 different protein requirements that you're going to need to work out. And if you are very fit and healthy, and that you are doing, almost like an athlete, basically, you are really dialing in, either running marathons and or doing heavy resistance training, you can go up to 2.2, even 2.4, some athletes, grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. You can even go up there. So I don't want to make this too complicated for you. You can do your calculation, but you can see that with this calculation, it's just a little bit more complex than just going, everybody needs to get in 100 grams of protein a day in order to lose weight. That is so not true, or to gain lean muscle mass. Not true. You have to work with where you are now, your healthy weight, and that's going to change as well, right? Maybe because your clients that I work with, they think their healthy weight is a certain amount, and then over time, after working with me for a few months, they're like, oh, actually, it's possible that my healthy ideal weight is this, what I never thought it would be. That's the miracle of when you really get this dialed in. All right, next, so we've gone over how much you need per day. Now, let's go over best sources of protein. So the best sources of protein to me are the sources of protein that are also going to prevent disease. Now, I speak obviously to most women in my community are over 40, over 50, somewhere in that ballpark. And so I keep this very simple. It's like, what are the protein sources that are going to also lower my risk of heart disease, the #1 killer of women over the age of 50, that are going to decrease my risk of stroke, of cardiovascular disease, of type 2 diabetes, and of several different cancers. So what is the protein source? Because that is the protein source that I want on my plate. I don't know about you. So that's where, for the most part, I really would recommend that your protein source is going to be plant-based, because you're going to be able to get your protein. Now, another really big misconception is that some people think that the plant protein doesn't contain all the amino acids, and that's just not true. All plants contain all of the 9 essential amino acids. Now, they may not be as in higher amounts as in animal flesh, but nonetheless, all plants contain all 9 essential amino acids. Please understand this. And you're only going to have a shortfall if you were to only eat one food to get all of your amino acids. So for instance, if you were only to eat brown rice to get all of your protein, well, that would be a problem, because you would be missing out on some of those essential, they wouldn't be in high enough amounts, the important amino acids. So it's really simple. You just need a diverse diet. You need a moderately diverse plant-based diet, and you will get all the amino acids that you need. Because here's the thing, it's really important to understand, And this is also the other little myth that I want to bust here, is that you have to eat muscle to gain muscle. Well, that's not true, because if you think about it, you ingest protein, okay? It starts to be broken down, it's digested in your mouth, okay? All the digestive enzymes come in, and then most of the digestion occurs in the small intestine. It's broken down into the individual amino acids, then it goes to the liver, which is the hub, and then the liver sort of takes the amino acids where it is needed in your body to do what needs to be done. But your liver and your body doesn't know whether that protein has come from a cow, a pig, a chicken, or a block of tofu. It doesn't know the difference, right? As long as you're getting enough amino acids, well, then there's not a problem. So it doesn't make any sense for anybody to say that you have to eat muscle to gain muscle, because you do not. Now, I will say, and this is important, that for women over the age of 50, you absolutely do need to make sure that if you're doing a plant-based diet, that it is very well planned. It's well planned, that you're getting everything that you need. And I am very food first, but if there is a shortfall of some of the primary micronutrients, you may need to supplement a little bit too. Also, some women there's a lot that comes into it. Some women who are a little bit older, that they don't have such an appetite, may need to eat a little bit more. We might need to distribute the protein differently throughout the day or day by day. So there's a lot of individualization and customization that I think is very, very helpful. But hopefully this has been helpful to you so far, and I'm going to show you my favorite recipe now. But in summation, okay, the biggest mistake people make is thinking they just need to eat tons and tons of protein, over 100 grams a day, and they're going to lose weight and build muscle. So that's a myth. It is not true. So unfortunately, you've got to do the work. And you've got to do the work to release the weight, and you've got to do the belly fat, most definitely, and to build a strong, beautiful body with really metabolically healthy muscles. You've got to do the work. You cannot eat your way out of an energy deficit. Number two, how much? We've gone over that in quite a lot of detail. And another time I'll do a whole video on how to sort of maybe even divide that up in the course of one day, though that however much protein your calculation reveals to you, whether it's 70 grams, 80 grams, 90 grams, 100 grams, how it's best sort of broken up during the day and when it's most important to have that protein. Stay tuned for that. Don't want to make this video too long. Then we went over best sources, and always the best sources of anything are going to be whole food, minimally processed, plant-based, because in there you are going to get all the phytonutrients, you're going to get all the fiber, you're going to get all the antioxidants, and that is why these are the foods that are going to help lower your risk of all the chronic diseases that we dread and want to avoid. Finally, my favorite recipe. So this recipe has, I wrote it down, 21 grams of protein. Okay, so fantastic. This is the most amazing either pre-workout or post-workout snack. And it is my peanut butter jelly chia pudding. It is so delicious, and it's very, very low in unhealthy fats. It's very high in healthy fats. As I say, there is 21 grams of protein. It is full of fiber, and it is delicious, and it's very, very filling. And you can't really see, but I blended it with a strawberry, couple of fresh strawberries. It's made with peanut butter powder, by the way. And then, oh, where's my little thing? The jelly is chia smash. It's a chia jelly. If you can ever get a chia jelly, I'll put a link to chia smash in the description. And then I had a little nectarine, so I just cut it up, and I'll use any seasonal fruit. But even without the fruit, it is absolutely delicious, and I will put the recipe in the description. I hope you found this video useful, and I'll see you next time. I'm going to eat this now. I've been dying to eat it. I made it a few hours ago, and it sets up really, really quickly, and I'm like, oh, I'm so, so hungry. Afternoon snack, I'm going to be working out in about an hour.
I mean, food is delicious. Food is healing. Food is healthy. Food is amazing. Food gives you all the macros and the micronutrients that you need. It's feel-good food.